welcome back to International Women's Day broadcast marathon with you know who I am. I'm Tigo. We got 29 women coming today. We're going to be on all day, and who we're wrapping up with, you do not want to miss. Am I going to tell you who's coming? I might give you hints, but right now, what's about to happen is a woman that is on fire. She picks career, does it. Family, does it. And then decides, hey, I'm going to tackle real estate on top of that too. This is amazing. Dr. Hoa is here today. Hey, Doc, what's happening?
Hi, Tika. How are you?
I am amazing, and even better now that you're here. What's going on with you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm traveling with my little girl on spring break.
You wait a minute. See, now she gonna be out for me. You took out time from her spring break to hang out with us.
Absolutely.
I can. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. You tell her I said thank you, and she's soon to be an international woman. She's an international young woman right now. So I hope she's watching Mom and hanging out. I want to ask you. You go to medical school, become an eye doctor, open practices. That's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of energy. Then you decide to expand past that. What made you decide to be an eye doctor in the first place?
When I was younger, I always used to go with my mom to her eye doctor appointments. I grew up working by the age of 10. So I grew up in the restaurant business, and that's a hard industry. I mean, that's 16, 18-hour work days. And no one in my family was ever a doctor yet, first generation come to America. And so that was my dream. I was like, I want to become an eye doctor. I want to serve patients and go into, so in college, I worked at a little optical and helped the doctor there. And he recommended that I should consider, being an eye doctor as a career. And I said, absolutely. That's what I want to do. And so I committed to it, long days, long nights of studying. And I said, that's what I'd love to do,
That's amazing. So you open your own practice, because a lot of people that are in the medical field, eye doctor, ear, nose, and throat, whatever specialty they decide to do, they're in that field. You work for years to get there. Most never go out and start their own practice. They just stay working for the blah, blah, blah center with a lot of names on it. What made you decide to not only go into this field, but say, you know what, these four walls are going to be mine? What made you make that choice?
My mom, she in Vietnam did not have the opportunity to go to school because she was a girl. And so my dad passed away when he was, when I was 13. So she was a single mom raising 3 kids. And I echo what she always told me. She didn't care what I pursued, but she said, follow your heart, follow your passion, and be your own boss. So that always stuck with me, And so that's what I always like, okay, she didn't care if I became a doctor or not. She just wanted me to be happy and passionate in whatever I'm doing. And she goes, be your own boss, because that's what she did. No formal education, coming here, she didn't know how to speak, drive, anything. And she opened 6 businesses.
Whoa. Wait,
right?
Hold on. Now that's an international woman. Yes. Really?
Yes. Doesn't know how to read.
That's amazing.
Single mom of 3 and opened up 6 businesses. So I was like, if I have all these opportunities here in the US, I want to take full advantage of all the resources. Absolutely.
So, that brings up something else, because so many people stop themselves because of fear and because they go, I can't. It's not for me. And, that's somebody else's dream. That's somebody else's life. They're not talking to me. And then they hear she can't read or write. She couldn't speak English, I'm assuming. And she opens 6 businesses, and her daughter ends up being not only a very successful doctor, but we got to get into your quote unquote side gig. What would you tell somebody that says, oh, it's not for me? I want to do bigger things, but I just can't.
And that's the biggest part. It's the belief in yourself, the mindset, the faith, the grit. That's all it takes. And, and so I always had it in my mind when I saw other people do things. And I would always say, well, if they can do it, why not me? Why not? right? And so I truly believe that. And it's so important that, because that's 80%, we always talk about 80-20, 80% mindset. And it is so true. It's writing it down, affirmations, visualizing it, and it comes to reality. You make it become into reality. Baby steps. And I always just say, I don't know how, but I know my why, and baby steps, one foot after another, and I gradually and slowly will get there.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, you're an international woman. You have this successful practice. We hinted at your side gig, but it's way more than a side gig. I mean, you got into real estate investing, and if I'm reading your bio right, you're have ownership in over $300 million worth of real estate assets. Really?
So this is not my side gig. What started off originally as just having diversified passive income transitioned to a full-time. This is really, my real estate space is actually more of my time than what I actually practice. I used to work 60, 70 hours a week in my own practice, and I have 2 practices. And now I see patients twice a month by choice. And then most of my time is through real estate, investing. And so I help now other families passively invest into these real estate. And it allows me the time with my daughter and the flexibility. And it's like financial and time freedom combined to really be able to do the things I'm passionate about doing. And that's why what initially started off as kind of a side thing became my full-time career now. And I love still seeing my patients, and I love the real estate space.
You know me, I got to be silly. So you turn the doctor, your practice into a side gig, and I got to be silly. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. So if somebody is out there, because we've heard of multi-door, we've heard of investing groups, we've heard of all of that. If somebody is out there and they're just dying to get into real estate investment, especially maybe a mom, maybe another female doctor that's listening, where would you tell them to start?
Education is so important. And I always tell people, you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in the education. There's a lot of noise out there, and you can get really lost in the convolution of what's out there. So I always say the biggest thing and best thing before you get into the world of real estate and investing is really spending the time and having the due diligence to follow someone who's successfully doing it with an experience and a good reputation. And I have plenty of mentors and coaches. And most of my life, whatever category, whatever I'm doing, I always have mentors and coaches that I invest with, because they will collapse that learning curve and minimize the mistakes.
My goddaughter is out there. She's sending a shout to me right now, and she's in Chicago. I watch her on social media. She's a mom. She's working every day. She's going to school. I know she has amazing big dreams. Would you say that if you're a young mom, you need to wait until the kids get older, or just start building your dream one little brick at a time?
Build it young. The younger, the better. And one brick at a time. And you have to really, regardless of what financial situation is, mom or not, but sitting down and actually strategically planning out the numbers, analyzing, we say the personal financial statement, write out your income, your expenses, budgeting. What you measure, you can improve. And so if you really invest and take a small portion, and how to create more sources of income, how can you increase just a little bit, and how can you save a little bit from the expenses, and that little extra cushion you start putting aside for investing. And that's something I learned at a very young age. So people go through lifestyle inflation. The more people make, the more people spend. So if you can, wherever you are, that little block, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. But if you can strategically and be committed to that and have discipline in that, it doesn't matter where you are. You can make it financially.
Okay, you got to say that again. The more people make, the more people what?
Spend.
Oh my goodness. Now, Is it possible in 2022, we're coming out of this whole COVID thing, quote unquote. We hope that we don't turn on the news and everybody says, oh no, put the mask back on. Is it possible in 2022, after a pandemic is starting to fade out, to build a very successful business? Or is that opportunity kind of gone away with a lot of other things that happened during this?
There's so many different opportunities out there. I heard Sharon Lecter, and she was talking about, passion plus talent times association times action plus faith. So everybody has something that they're really good at and what they're really passionate that they can monetize and make a living. So I don't believe that, what's happening in the economy, that, you don't have anything to do. I don't believe that, and I think the more that you are in tune to the little time that you have, I call it thinking time, to really high level evaluate where you are. And you always pivot and adapt. But I always believe that you have a talent. Every single woman and every single person out there has a talent and a passion that they can bring out and that they can monetize on. I truly believe that.
Well, Doctor, before I let you go, one, I've got to tell you, it's been amazing to know you. We met at an event. We met at Secret Knock. We met at Prosperity Camp. And they're going to hear that a lot today. Yeah, y'all going to hear that a lot today because they're amazing people at Secret Knock and Prosperity Camp. And if you haven't been there, you might want to try to get there. But I want to talk to you and thank you so much for being a part of this and being a part of our family. What does International Women's Day mean to you personally?
First of all, thank you, Tigo, for having me on. But International Women's Day, what we're doing right now, the platform that you are giving and having women come together to celebrate internationally and uplift and encourage one another and inspire each other, to me personally, that's what International Women's Day is.
That's amazing. I thank you so much, Doctor, for hanging out. I'm hoping I'll see you in a couple of weeks because Secret Knock's coming around again. And I hope you'll come back and be a guest on the show at a future date. We can go even deeper and deeper on, your two-side gigs that happens to be changing the world while you do it. And tell your daughter I said thank you for sharing your mom with us for just a few minutes today.
Thank you. Bye.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.